Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Very much. I am extremely grateful that we now have a new magazine that will bring India and Japan even closer together. I am also very excited as this promises to be a thrilling endeavor. I would like to express my sincere respect and gratitude to all those who have worked tirelessly to make the magazine launch and the inauguration event a great success. I am honored to speak after Dr. Arif Mohammed Khan, the governor of Kerala. I haven't been to Kerala, known as God's own country. Ambassador C.B. George, who was sent to Japan by India, comes from one of the ancient Catholic communities in Kerala. Governor Khan is famous for his stand on religious tolerance. India is a big country with so much diversity among its states and people. This makes India special. I hope to visit Kerala soon, as it showcases many of India's beautiful qualities. If the late Prime Minister Abe Shinzo were still alive, he would have been delighted to witness the birth of a magazine linking India and Japan. Over the years, being his foreign policy speechwriter has shaped my mindset. Whenever something good happens, I instinctively feel the need to report it to Prime Minister Abe. Even now, I find myself wishing I could tell Prime Minister Abe about my participation in the inaugural event for this new magazine that bridges India and Japan. India held a special place in Abe's heart. As a young boy, Shinzo spent weekends on his grandfather's lap. His grandfather, Kishi Nobusuke, was a vivacious man who laughed a lot and adored his grandchildren. The grandfather recounted to young Shinzo about his trip to India in May 1957. In front of an audience of tens of thousands, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru announced, and quote, "Standing next to me is the leader of a country I deeply respect, Japan." A resounding cheer followed. As the prime minister of a country that had lost the war and experienced great humiliation, that moment restored his pride as the leader of the great nation of Japan. It must have deeply touched him, so much so that he shared this memory with his grandson Shinzo years later. As Shinzo matured and understood his grandfather's legacy, he realized that in June 1957, his grandfather traveled to the USA to meet President Dwight Eisenhower. The sequence was India, then the US. Shinzo recognized the significance. The reception in India meant that Kishi was accumulating political capital. India's warm welcome bolstered his confidence, setting him up for his subsequent meeting with a leader of the most powerful country and the great foe of the recent past. For Kishi, India was strategically vital. This strategy was something young Shinzo recognized and saw his grandfather implement in 1957. Exactly 50 years later, with the same conviction, Prime Minister Abe delivered the speech, Confluence of the Two Seas, in the Central Hall of the Indian Parliament, August 2007. A strong India is in the best interest of Japan, and a strong Japan is in the best interest of India, Prime Minister Abe declared. Prime Minister Abe's most enduring legacy is the concept of a free and open Indo-Pacific. Quad links the four countries that underpin the Indo-Pacific. Both concepts hinge on a robust India-Japan relationship, a bond that will only strengthen in the future. Prime Minister Abe envisioned a resilient Japan-India bond in 2049. By then, China will celebrate its centenary. According to Xi Jinping, China's dream must be realized by then. However, this dream might prove nightmarish for many, including China's youth. Yet, there is no cause for concern. Japan and India's partnership will grow stronger with every passing year, cementing their shared future. For Abe Shinzo, India represented hope and a valuable investment for the future. Japan and India share the bilateral relationship with the most potential. Prime Minister Abe once said, repeatedly echoed slogans hold even more power. I genuinely hope that Prime Minister Kishida will express the same sentiment. Now, turning to the business people listening to this speech, I should say that I understand that doing business in India presents its unique challenges. However, the hardships faced today will become laughable memories tomorrow. Embrace your work in India. India's unparalleled belief in the future is something I feel is sometimes missing among the Japanese. Until now, Japanese companies have often sent their proficient English speakers to New York and to London. I urge them to redirect these talents to Delhi now. After all, the intellectuals in Delhi rank among the world's finest, and their legislators and politicians have a keen understanding of global events, often surpassing their Japanese peers. To confidently engage with these brilliant minds, Japanese companies should send their best and brightest to Delhi. But proficiency in English isn't enough. They should also possess a fervor that allows them to resonate emotionally with the Indian people. Next, I appeal to the members of the Foreign Service from both our nations. We stand as bookends to the vast expanse of the Indo-Pacific, both from the West and the East. Both our nations hold a deep pride in our democratic traditions. Yet, we each discuss democracy in our own distinct voices, not merely echoing Western views. Is there a better geographical and philosophical pairing? I believe not. No matter how daunting the challenges, India and Japan must habitually face them together. I particularly address Mr. Kishida with these words, hoping to ignite a passion in his eyes. I wish for Mr. Kishida to always cherish the exhilarating prospects of collaboration with India. Now, the conflict Russia instigated in Ukraine will inevitably conclude at some point. Predicting its end remains challenging, to say the least. However, it's unrealistic to expect one side to claim complete victory while the other suffers total defeat. A compromise must be reached. How can we still ensure justice then and there? This is where wisdom is crucial. What will the European landscape resemble post-conflict? Does a fragmented Europe possess the resilience to envision its future? In these times, the UN is simply useless, period. Thus, I propose a collaborative initiative between Prime Minister Kishida and Prime Minister Modi. Let India and Japan spearhead the transition from a ceasefire to an armistice agreement, followed by the establishment of interim boundaries. An apt location for these prolonged discussions exists in front of the Gandhi statue in Hiroshima, which is actually Mr. Kishida's own constituency. We could construct a temporary conference venue there and invite Russian and Ukrainian representatives for discussions. Both Mr. Modi and Mr. Kishida and Dr. Jaishankar and his Japanese counterpart would serve as co-chairs. Why not name it the Gandhi-Hiroshima Peace Process? Both nations will bear the responsibility of gathering and synthesizing the perspectives of the G7 countries and India representing the global south. This initiative could also culminate in a substantial fund dedicated to Ukraine's post-war reconstruction. The Gandhi-Hiroshima Peace Process has the potential to set the stage for discussions on a new European order. Debates about establishing a security framework, which might stagnate in Europe, could gain momentum in Hiroshima under the watchful gaze of Gandhi's statue. What we need is a profound reinvigoration within the foreign service of both nations. Coupled with that, we require unwavering dedication and leadership from Prime Ministers Modi and Kishida. The global order isn't preordained or handed down to us. The age-old dynamic where Europe and the US shape it and we merely adhere is no longer relevant. The future global order is ours to define. India and Japan can and should shape it. Why should we not? I conclude my address by urging the leaders of Delhi and Tokyo to champion this cause. I am certain that this new magazine will play a pivotal role in strengthening the bond between Japan and India. My heartfelt congratulations. As Prime Minister Abe once stated, when it comes to the Indo-Japanese relationship, the sky is the only limit. Thank you so much.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.